Welcome to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Roling. Do you believe you are capable of choosing your future? Sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you, or you to believe in yourself. If you find yourself continuing to say, someday I will take better care of myself, only to continue living the same day over and over and over again, then you, my friend, are in the right place. I am your biggest cheerleader, inspiring you to become you on purpose and with intention. Are you ready to create a life you love? I'm excited to share with you some big ideas that you can use today to inspire, impact, and influence your life and everyone in it. The Becoming You show starts now. Hello, my friends. How are you? I know that my voice still sounds awful. I'm going to promise you that hopefully by next week, I will have my voice back. And if not, you'll just have to listen to this. And I'm sorry in advance, but I can't believe that we are almost to the end of a month. I know for so many of us, the holidays are full of hustle and bustle and shopping and cheer and getting together with family and friends. And I also know that for some of us, it represents something that's sad and something that is memorable, and it brings back memories of loss. And so wherever you are this month, and whatever it is that you're feeling this month, I just honor you. I honor you showing up and working through this month the best way that you know how. I love the holiday. I love Christmas. I love everything about it. I had my friend party last night, and I will tell you, there was a point in my party that I stopped talking to anyone, and I just looked around, and I felt so much love in that room that I'm still like verklempt about it. I just love, and I'm so blessed with the group of friends that I am privileged to do this life with. So it was awesome. I hope that you have those experiences this holiday season as well. I want to share with you today what I believe to be the 3 best gifts in this life. None of them are wrapped. None of them are purchased. None of them can be primed to your door. Rather, honored, celebrated, and experienced. No matter who you are, no matter what you've been through, no matter how much money you have or you don't have, no matter your profession, your religion, your politics, these 3 gifts are universally given. And I truly believe that if respected, will allow you to live a life that outlives you. So the first gift is time. I mentioned this to my kiddos on Monday, that this was the podcast topic that I was going to talk about. And I challenged them to think about the 3 gifts that, again, can't be unwrapped, can't be primed. And I gave them a hint. I'm going to give you the same hint. They all start with T. And the first one I gave you is time. So I want you to think about what those other gifts might be. But we're starting with time. Time is a gift. If you woke up with breath this morning, if you are listening to my voice, although it's an awful voice right now, you are benefiting from the gift of time. And I know we all know that time is precious, probably one of our most valuable resources. But do we really know? Do we honor it? Do we celebrate it? Do we experience it? We know that life is short, but do we live like it is? So how do we honor time? How are you using it to matter, to create meaning, to serve, to love, and without judgment? Can you ask yourself, how are you honoring your time? Are you respecting it? Are you using it wisely? Or do you find yourself getting caught up in distractions, social media, Netflix, wordscapes? Do you find yourself caught up in doubt, in delay? I'll just call it procrastination. Procrastination is just a fancy, more mature word for distraction, disconnection, lack of belief, priorities, and focus. That's it. Procrastination dishonors every single gift you have. It does. So if you find yourself procrastinating, and we all do, I want to offer to you that it's most likely a belief issue. At the start of my show, I always say, sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you for you to believe in yourself. So if you find yourself procrastinating, I want to invite you to stop telling yourself that you're not something that you think you should be. Stop telling yourself that you're not an author, that you're not a good leader, that you're not a good mom, that you're not a good wife, that you're not a good husband, that you're not a good friend, that you're not good at marketing, that you're not good at losing weight, that you're not good at saving money, that you're not good at earning money. It's not that you are not any of that. It's that you are not a believer in the possibility that you are. You don't believe you are. And here's what else I know to be true. Your brain has gone to work tirelessly for things that matter less than working on a little belief for what matters more. Think about what we extend our brain power to solve for. If you're ever in a hotel room and you're trying to get Netflix, like on your hotel room TV, okay, your brain goes to work to try to solve for that. What if instead, or at least in addition to, we had our brain solve for the things that matter, and what matters is your belief. And if you're struggling with your belief in anything that you want in your life right now, borrow my belief in you, because I know you can do it. If it's in your heart to do it, the possibility is there for you to believe it. Okay? How did you celebrate time? Right? How do we honor it? How do we celebrate it? Did you create fun? Did you make time to celebrate time? And if not, can you commit to doing that? What does that even look like? I coach a lot of achievers out there, myself included. I am and forever will be my first client. But these are just a few things that I like to do when I find myself taking myself a little too seriously. And I find myself taking myself a little too seriously a lot of the time. So the first thing I drop right into silly, right? I get silly. So can you ask yourself, how can you be more silly? For me, when it rains, I sing a song. I call it the rain song. And my boys, they have this love-hate relationship with it. I think mostly love. But when it rains, I sing a song about how I want the rain to stop and how I want this big circle yellow ball in the sky to come out. And I tell the rain, rain, rain to go away. And it's a silly, ridiculous song. but I drop out of my seriousness into silly. Maybe you dance in the kitchen. We literally have a game in our house that we call the silly game. It's a glorified game of tag with tickle breaks. Right? Fun does not happen. You have to be the fun. You have to be the fun maker. And you don't need permission to do it. You just need to choose to do it. The second thing, don't overthink it. There's not a right or wrong way to bring the fun. I find that by managing my overwhelm and journaling my thoughts, I create more space to be open to enjoying the moment more. And sometimes I block time for spontaneity. It's my spontaneity time where I just get to choose what I want to do. And I try to insert fun. Okay? The last thing, I want you to think about how you can take the mundane routine and make it less mundane. I will be in my office all day on my client calls, recording this. So I've got candles lit. I've got some music playing, right? Can you create just a little bit more experience in the mundane? Can you put down your phone and smile? I was shopping this past weekend and I literally had to watch where I was going because very few were. They were all on their phones trying to navigate the seas of the people and the packages. And as I walked by families and couples and individuals, I literally was thinking how very thankful I am to be alive, to be in this space, to love them, to truly be here and smile. And it was fabulous. How do we honor it? How do we experience? Or how do we honor it? How do we celebrate it? How do we experience it? Time. It's all about presence. Not presence under the tree, but our presence. Being in the moment. Holding hugs. Maybe just 2 seconds more. Scratching backs. A few more alphabets more. Asking, how are you? And waiting for the answer on the other side. Experiencing time is probably one of the hardest ones for me because patience and presence, they don't usually go very well together. And it's also the one that I've hurt myself the most by. When my mom was alive, we would go and get our nails done. And on one occasion, we were getting our nails done and they were running late. And I found myself super panicked and impatient because I was worried that I would be late for my meeting. And I also knew that there would not be time for lunch. And I wasn't present. I was frazzled. We didn't do lunch. We were going to do lunch that next week. Yet that next week didn't come. And what I would have given to be present in that moment instead of being frazzled that we would not get to lunch and that I would be late for my meeting. We don't get time back. And so I want you to experience it to the best of your ability. It is one of the best gifts that we have. It's also one of the best gifts that we give. So how are you honoring, celebrating, and experiencing your time? The second gift, any guesses? Starts with a T. Talents. When was the last time you thought about your talents? I like to think that our talents, our gifts, our genius, whatever you want to call them, are on loan from the big guy. I like to think that when I die, I'm gonna have to give them back, right? I imagine this conversation around how well did you use them? How did you serve with them? How did you share them? And I know sometimes when I coach people, they'll offer to me that they have no idea what their unique gifts are, what their talents are. They have no idea what their purpose is. And so I like to share a few things. First, if you're like my clients, you are the purpose, right? You are in purpose right now. I think sometimes when we think about purpose and legacy, that we forget that your legacy is created in the moment you are in, not after. So if we didn't have to figure out your purpose, like you are of 8 billion, you are, okay. So now what are your talents? What are your talents? So here are some thoughts when you're trying to explore. God, what are my gifts? What are my geniuses? What are my talents? Ask other people. Ask the people around you what they think your strengths are. And you might be surprised what you find out. Most of the time, we tend to overlook our strengths because we've always had them. We discount them, we dismiss them, and we focus on our weaknesses. And the other thing we can do is we can take some personality tests. If you have no idea, it's a good way to start. A lot of research and study goes into developing these tests, and they might give you some valuable insights. That being said, I know my Myers-Briggs. I know my Enneagram. And although valuable for self-awareness, your personality is made up of your personal reality. And as you know, it's 100% in your control. The other way that I invite people to explore their gifts, talents, is I invite them to live their life. You can't expect to get new epiphanies or ideas if you live a mundane life, if you never get out of your comfort zone. So get out of your box, try new things, dance, paint, write, learn a foreign language, fail fast, often, a lot, travel. Don't be so serious. Remember, be the fun. What would silly do here? How could I make this more fun? When I think back in my childhood, I think about how I fostered some of the talents that I feel were given to me, right? Like when you look back, when you were a kid, like what did you do that you did that was fun, that was silly? Okay? As a kid, I remember I would play teacher. Like when my girlfriends would come over, they'd ask what I wanted to do. And it was always, I want to teach. I want to be a teacher. I wanted them to be the student, right? Or I wanted to be the student. I wanted them to be the teacher. I would also write down my steps. I lived in an attic. My bedroom was in an attic. And it was very steep steps. And I would find a box and I'd put a pillow in the box and I would get in the box. I'd run all the way down the steps until I'd crash into the door. And then I would roll down hills in blankets. I also like to encourage people to live healthier. I'll never forget one time. I was probably 10 or so. I was down at our local grocery store, Randall's, and there was a gentleman in front of me, and he had asked for some cigarettes. And I told them that he shouldn't smoke. And he told me that he didn't ask for my opinion. I got into a lot of trouble in my life trying to get people to stop smoking. As it turns out, I hid my mom's cigarettes. I negotiated with her around me wearing my seatbelt if she would stop smoking. And so one of my favorites for finding out and exploring someone's talents is to looking back. So as I look back in my childhood, I like to teach and I like to save people, like teach them about habits and health and well-being so they could live better, longer. And so I invite you to look back at your past to see what you like to do. And if you're still stumped, what is something that you could talk about forever? Your friends might get tired and get sick of you talking about it all the time. But what's that one thing? For me, I could talk about health and fitness and goals and planning and time management and home design forever, forever. So don't wait. Don't wait. If you keep waiting for your talent to come to you, then let me break it to you. It's never going to happen. You have to deliberately pursue it and find it. So you honor it by knowing it and being self-aware enough to continue to explore your talents. You celebrate it by using it, by taking your gifts into the world unapologetically and acknowledging your talents in appreciation, in abundance, knowing, this is big, you guys, knowing you had nothing to do with it. You didn't. I love my talents. I'm very blessed and gifted about my talents. I had zero to do with it. It's your responsibility to use your gifts to the best of your ability. You experience it by making it part of your identity of who it is that you are. I can't help being a cheerleader for everybody's life. I can't help it. I want everyone to know, you included right now, how amazing you are, how awesome you are, and how for so many of us, we are living beneath our potential. We are not living into the possibilities because we are not aware of our gifts and our talents. So the last one, quickly, is treasures. The people in your life that you love. How do you honor them? You honor the people in your life by allowing them to be them, by accepting that they have agency and loving them anyway. Again, yourself included. I was coaching a client who was super disappointed and frustrated with her son for failing out of a pretty expensive program. And there were assumptions about his effort, and curiosity was impossible to access because we as humans struggle to honor the agency of others. How do you celebrate them? You celebrate them by showing them appreciation, by understanding what they struggle with, what their goals are, by digging in to find the good and the not so good stuff, by being enthusiastic and empathetic and encouraging. How do you experience them? You honor the people in your life with your presence, your time, your attention, feeling them, feeling the experience, experiencing the experience, connecting with them rather than trying to be right, trying to people please, pretend and placate, being authentic, vulnerable, and allowing your truest self to be seen and heard. So when you think about these gifts, time, talents, and treasures, how can you be more intentional with how you're honoring, celebrating, and experiencing them? For me, I like to ask myself 3 questions when I go to bed at night. Leah, how did you make fun today? Time. It's honoring time. Leah, how did you use your breath wisely today? Talents. Honoring talents. Leah, how did you love harder today? Treasures. If I can answer yes to these 3 questions, I can say I honored, celebrated, and experienced my gifts. I honor you for being here, for wanting to learn more about yourself, your journey, and wanting to impact the world in your unique way. And in order to do that, this is the journey. This is the road to self-mastery. And the more you know yourself, the more you can give yourself freely and abundantly to your treasures. Have an amazing one, everybody. Know that I appreciate you, I honor you, and I celebrate the very essence of who it is that you are. Have an amazing one. Take care. Bye.
You have been listening to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Roling, where I share big ideas to inspire, impact, and influence your life. Tune in every Friday at 11 Central on transformationtalkradio.com for your morning cup of coffee, the hug you never want to end, and that inspirational message that you felt was written just for you. Each show is inspiring you to become you with purpose and intention. For more information or to connect with me, visit www.leahroling.com.